Well, happy Monday. It's March 25th. Want to bring you the latest data here in the Austin metro area. We're going to start with interest rates. We are finally back a little bit below 7% to start the week, kind of 6.9 range. Of course, if you're using another product, maybe VA or FHA, you might be able to get a little better mortgage rate. The biggest thing that we're seeing is this kind of bounce. We're seeing a bounce every time new data comes out. It bounces up over 7. This middle line right here is 7. So we were under 7% as we started the year. We got to February. We went over 7%. We had a little drop in March, kind of got back down into the 6s. Then we got new data, went back over 7. Now we're back down under 7. So we're kind of trending in this pattern between 7.2 to 6.8. And depending on what data we're looking at, whether it's the CPI, the PPI, unemployment, jobs reports, everybody's trying to figure out, are we going to keep having inflation longer, or are we finally starting to see the trends drop? And every time one of those theses comes out, some new piece of data offsets it, makes people think inflation's going to stay longer and rates go back up. So for now, if you're a buyer, just know, be prepared, run your numbers. That's probably the trend line that you're going to be on. I would not expect, at least until this summer, that we're going to see rates make a significant move lower. So pay attention to that. If we look at number of active versus sold listings, this is in real time. So this is looking at the last 12 months. This is single family only. So we're not looking at land and duplexes and all that kind of stuff. Single family homes. So you can see we peaked out last year. Obviously, we always go down in the winter. Not only do we sell, some of the inventory sells out, but we also have a lot of sellers that either just sell or take their home off the market. Not as many listings at that time. And then, of course, the year starts to take off. Now we can clearly see that trend. Listings are building. So right now we have just under 10,000 single family homes listed for sale. In April of last year, we had 9,500. So we already have more listings now than we had in April last year. So we're on pace to have more inventory on the market this year than before. You can also see as interest rates stayed high last year, they went up to 8% by October, really softened the market, didn't have a lot of buying activity, but we're starting a little bit. Remember, don't judge March yet. It's too early. We'll have a lot more sales get registered in the MLS as we finish out the month. But I expect March will have more sales than we saw in February. In February, we saw about 2,200. I'd expect we're probably going to be somewhere around 2,500 for March. So keep an eye on that. But that, again, means sales are going up, pendings are up, and we're seeing listings up. Both of those are up over this time last year. This is the historic sales price trend. So I like to look at this just to give you a longer view. So if we go back to January of 2022, interest rates were still around 3%. Austin had finished its greatest year in history in terms of appreciation, which was 2021, but rates were still low and inventory was still non-existent. And so we had a huge run up in median home value for the first 3 or 4 months. And so from January to about April, May, we went up literally median home values like 75 grand, like that. But you can see the second rates went up. It was just a roller coaster. That was the peak. We roller coastered off the top, had a huge decline, not only the rest of that year, started the next year still in decline. We had a little bump last spring. It was decent. You have more listings. You have more buyers in the market. But of course, it cooled off. The second half of last year had another decline. We went a little lower than we did at the end of 2022. So we spent the last 2 years depreciating, with 2022 being the big one. But here we go. We can see just a little bit on that chart. This only gets to February, so we're not yet seeing March data. But February, we're starting to see this. We're starting to see this spring rise in median home values, and I expect we're going to see that as we continue through the spring. So again, if you're selling right now, just know there's typically a little momentum as we get into the market, and that's a good thing. But you also have more listings to compete against than we've had in several years. And so pay attention to that. One more article I thought was very interesting, kind of caught my attention. Where are the millionaires going? Austin, Texas, the nation's fastest growing millionaire hub. According to the Tampa Bay Business Journal, Austin got a 110% increase in the number of millionaires over the past 10 years. Scottsdale, number 2, Palm Beach, West Palm Beach in Florida, 3 and 4. And nationally, millionaires grew about 62%. This does not mean everybody's getting paid well. This means that your home values went up. And so in Austin, when I talk about that huge increase in home equity, that made a lot of millionaires. And so that has to do with your net worth, not necessarily how much money you are making per year. I thought that was interesting. We'll have to keep an eye on home values and make sure that Austin is kind of starting to stabilize. I feel like that is what's happening now. So if you are a buyer and seller in the market, this is the spring. We are entering what typically is going to be the busiest quarter of the year, April, May, and June. Every year, this is what we see. We see listings go up. We see median home price go up. We see more pendings from buyers because there's more buyer activity. And the reason there's more buyer activity is everybody wants to have a house for the summer. And so this is the busy season. I can tell you we have dozens of clients under contract right now. Things are moving. Even wherever the interest rates are, the activity is picking up. So if you're prepping your house for sale, now's the time. Let's get it on the market, get it out the door. In case we're not at the right price or you're not getting the feedback that you want, you still have some time to adjust and you're still in that core spring market. If you are a buyer, I think the good news is you're going to have more inventory to look at than buyers have had in the past many years. And that's been a benefit to our buyers right now because there's a lot of choice and a lot of opportunity to take a look at. Anyways, I hope this was helpful. Make sure to check out our YouTube channel at Ryan Kelly Group. We will be posting these videos each and every Monday to keep you abreast of the market. And of course, if you know somebody looking to buy, sell, or invest in Austin, we'd love the opportunity to talk with them. Until then, it's a little rainy today, but I expect we're going to have a nice week. And next week, enjoy Easter this weekend and talk to you next Monday. Thanks.